Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Brickey here. Welcome to the 13th hour, which I get together with you each and every week and look back at the week of Disneyland news. This past week was a crazy one. Just when we thought we couldn't get any more nuts than finding out that Disneyland was going to open at the end of this month, which now we're only 32 days away from as of time of doing this live. We also saw all about the future of the Disneyland Resort, while in this quiet time, they decided to, let's double down. Let's try to project where we could go in the future. So today, we're going to talk about Disneyland Forward, but in a very, very different way, because I want the opportunity to do a standalone video about this. In fact, I want the opportunity to do a standalone video series about Disneyland Forward, because as someone who covers specifically the design of the park, this is my Christmas wish list. Like, this is actually somewhat bigger to me from my creative perspective than maybe the actual park reopening. So tomorrow, I hope to have a video for you that is me breaking down the Disneyland Forward news and what it really means, and most importantly, like I love to do, what it doesn't mean. So I'm already anticipating some of those comments. Why are you being so negative, Brickey? Well, because I want to tell you the truth. So I'll be kicking off a series about that tomorrow. But I knew that if I came here today and talked about anything else, that people just wouldn't let me get away with not commenting on Disneyland Forward. So I figured out the best way to talk about it today, but to not give away my opinions and my deeper thoughts on where this could really go. And I'm dedicated to covering Disneyland Forward by going out and filming Walnut Street to kind of give you an idea of what this is all going to look like as I create a video series around all of that in the future, until either stuff gets built or we hear, like we have in the past with the parking over on the eastern side of the resort, or with the hotel that just didn't happen. Like, I'm covering it until we get something, until we get nothing. I'm covering it. But today we will start our game of Would You Rather at 5 minutes into the video. So if you're watching this on demand, that's when we'll start to have fun. But right now, I just wanted an opportunity to say hello to everybody that's making me a part of their Monday. Typically, we do this show each and every Friday at the 13th hour, which is 1 p.m. Disneyland time. But we've been doing these over on Monday because I've been live streaming every Thursday from Touch of Disney, and I have 3 more weeks of coverage. So hopefully I'll see you this Thursday when I live stream from the resort. Ethan, Wild Prince, Andrew, Gary, Mikey, what's up? Good to see all of you all over there. Tony Mendez, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Congratulations on your vaccine and your trip to Walt Disney World. I know that you've been anxiously sitting back, and I'm excited to hear that annual pass that you bought is finally going to get a swipe through the gates of Walt Disney World. I'm so happy for you, bud. Nikki, what's going on? Melissa, Serena, how you doing? Amanda K. David says, talking about something that may or may not happen in 8 to 9 years. I'm more excited about the park reopening in 4.5 weeks. Woo, hot take. I mean, for me, David, this type of creative decision-making is what made me fall in love with Disneyland. I love how small the resort is. I love how much restriction they have. So yeah, it's something that will happen in 8 or 9 years, but it is fascinating to me. So to each their own, my friend. West Coast Avenger checking in live from Touch of Disney. End this stream now. Get off of here. Go enjoy Touch of Disney. Watch this when you get home, when you're trying to unwind. Get off of here. I'm kicking you out. Jeff, kick him off. Kick him off the stream. Kick him off. Ban him, because he should be hanging out and enjoying Touch of Disney and not watching this. Get out of here. Shoo. Get off my lawn. Hey, Kaylee, what's up? Hey, Club 1313. Crystal Ray today. Crystal Ray, you just did you just do a Touch of Disney experience? I feel like I saw you in the comments giving me a report on it. Tony Mendez says, Mr. Toadland. All right. You ready for Mr. Toadland? Lauren says, hello, everyone. Club 1313. Glad you're feeling better, Brickey. Thank you. I had a rough Friday and Saturday, and feel like I'm back in fighting shape, ready to go. West Coast Avenger, I see you. I see your emojis. That better be the next thing we see from you better be bye. because I am going to boot you out of here so fast. Crystal Ray, yeah, you did go to Touch of Disney. I thought that I recalled seeing you reporting over in the comments on the videos that you went out and had a good time. All right, so let's do this. Miguel says, Touch of Disney was good times. I sat on a bench and just relax. Oh, I love that. If it was like Touch of Disney forever, I'd be fine. I don't need the attractions. I can just go and hang out. All right, let's get this started here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play a game of Would You Rather. I have put together 12 different Would You Rather scenarios for you guys to contemplate. Would love to see your all's opinions down in the chat. And I thought this would be a really interesting way because by this time, practically everybody that covers Disneyland news or even Walt Disney World news has commented on Disneyland Forward because it was so out of the blue. But I thought before I get into my coverage tomorrow, there you go, West Coast Avenger. Go have fun, man. Enjoy your Touch of Disney. I'm so happy for you to be in the park today. But what I'm excited about is to cover it in great detail. But I wanted to hear your opinions because there's been a lot of people telling you what's going to happen, and I wanted to hear what you guys thought. So we'll do a little bit of imagineering today. Okay, so we're going to start today with the hotel footprint. So right now we're just talking about the space of land that exists between, let me see, can I do this off the top of my head? Essentially, Ball Road, Catella, Walnut, and Disneyland Way. So that strip of land where the two hotels exist, the current Paradise Pier Hotel, where the Disneyland Hotel exists, where we have a couple of parking lots. We're talking about that space of land right now. So your first Would You Rather that I would love for you to talk about right now in the chat. Would you rather that space of land get turned into sort of a awkward third gate? And in this scenario, the hotels still exist. Okay, so the hotels still exist in this scenario because we'll get into a scenario where they don't. But would you rather that be turned into a awkward third gate, or would you rather that space give you more DCA, which it really, really needs, and a little bit more Disneyland? When you look at the way that it's cut up, it looks like Disneyland would maybe get, off the top of my head, 25, 30% of that. And it seems that future growth would benefit DCA 70%. So I would love to know in the chat, with the space where the hotels sit, we're talking about the hotel footprint, what would you rather see? A third gate pop up, like a whole separate park, which would be nice if that was where the third park went, because you would have a entryway from the Esplanade, from downtown Disney, like design-wise, it would all make a lot of sense. Or would you rather get a little bit of extra land into both of those? This is going perfect. So far, 2 people have responded. I appreciate it. Gary says that he would like extra lands. Let's see here. Anna says more DCA, more Disney, which would be extra lands. Federalist is going to say loaded question. I would expect him to not participate. Husky Wolf Pop, what a name, says, I saw extra lands, just too small for a third gate. Yeah, it is definitely a very, very interesting piece of land. Elizabeth says extra lands. Melissa says more of the parks. I'm going to put that under extra lands. Let's see here. David, who's been oh so positive today. I don't see a third park due to the hotels in the way. I understand what you're saying there. The hotels are definitely in a weird spot. I think that if this would go third land or third gate, the hotels would probably have to go. So let's do this. If the hotels went, if they moved the hotels elsewhere, and this was potentially a third gate, would that change your opinion? Ethan says more parking structure. It does feel like a very, very tight spot. Let's see here. Sonic Boom says, I just like the bridge idea. That is unique to me. More lands, no third gate. Seems like for most of you are looking for extra lands to go into the parks, which then that gets into an interesting question. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer how DCA would would go into there. But it would seem like if Disneyland was to hop over there, that the entryway would probably be at the end of Critter Country, because I don't really see them. Well, there's scenarios where they could bust through Star Wars Land. I don't know if Toontown would be the exact portal that they want, but just the way that overall Disneyland flows, it seems like it would be at the end of Critter Country. Anna B says, still extra lands. So you guys love the idea of making DCA and Disneyland bigger, which I like that idea too, because that doesn't get into having to buy another ticket, right? If it's just more of the parks we have, then that would keep it up. What's up, Breeze? How you doing? Aren't you on vacation? Get off of here. Go hang out with your family. I love how I'm just kicking people off, going against all the trends that would make for a successful career on YouTube. John M says, if the hotels go, third gate for sure. They can incorporate new purpose, but build hotels into the footprint. Yeah, it would be interesting, because what Disney Forward is truly about is the freedom to take all this land and to cut it up as creatively as Walt Disney Imagineering can get. Tony says, I say get rid of Pixar Pier Hotel. I say keep it and turn it into Pixar Hotel. And you called it the wrong name. You called it Pixar Pier Hotel. It's Paradise Pier Hotel. It's got to be branded first. Cute Latin guy says more lands because we'd have to pay extra for a third gate. See, that's the type of cheapness I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Let's see here. So let's go over to the next question, because it seems like everybody has got a good read on this. Wild Prince says the Splash Mountain show building is practically already at Disneyland Drive. It's true. Very true. It is tight to the fence there. Jeremy says, trying to imagine like a huge new growth of Disney hanging off Critter Country is odd to imagine. So if you keep in mind the way that Critter Country is right now, that could be opened up a bit. You know, we would lose the treat shop at the end there. There's already a portal there. And if that got widened up, if you think about it, once you went through the hub, took a left to Adventureland, cruised along the edge of the Rivers of America, go through New Orleans Square, go through Critter Country, it would just be a really nice line of just boom, 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 boom that would take you through. And I don't know, it depends on how they would make that land. Would they do then an exit where you could actually cruise through and do a full lap and pop out maybe over in Critter Country? The only way I could see Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, because it was designed to be such an exclusive portal of Disneyland, the only way that I could see Batuu being an entryway into more Disneyland would be if that space was used for more Batuu. That's the only scenario I see that land interacting at all. All right, there you go, Breeze. Go hang out with the family. Go hang out with the family. Go be on vacation. Get out of here. Okay, let's move on to your next would you rather, which would be, would you like new lands for each park? Would you like that plot of land to give you a little bit more Disneyland, or would you like for it to give you a whole lot more of DCA? So essentially, everything in that area would just funnel over into DCA. So just let me know, either both or DCA, because having spent the last 2 weeks at DCA, it needs more. It needs a definite amount of more to really make it feel like a full day, full park visit. So I'd be curious, would you, because it looks like you would just get like a little bit extra for Disneyland, but Disneyland's footprint right now feels pretty perfect. Like the way that it flows, it's a complete lap, it's a complete circle. It would be interesting for it to have like another little sort of offshoot. Going over the highway or going under the highway would be weird for Disneyland. I would love to know what you would go for. Christopher says both. Christopher's sticking with both. Jeremy says both, but wouldn't be mad with only DCA. The more you think about just giving that land to DCA, I think the more that it makes sense if you really, really think about that. Gary says new lands each park. I think both could use a little extra space. Just give Disneyland less and DCA more. Yeah, I mean, I think just with practically what each of them has adjacent to it, that would be the way that it would go, which got me to think, which way could this possibly break down? Let's see here. Tony says, I feel like it should be all DCA. Tony, I'm going to go with you. I feel like Disneyland, I would always like more Disneyland. It seems like they really raised the bar on what they're willing to put into Disneyland because it is so prestigious. But I kind of feel like going all DCA could be the way to go. Christy agrees and says both. So does James McMillan. Husky Wolf Pop says, I say both. I like how it looks on the concept art to have a majority of DCA and the rest be Disneyland. Melissa says, honestly, I love the way Disneyland is right now, so I think it would be best for just more DCA. Yeah, Melissa, it seems like once they got Galaxy's Edge in there, it just kind of flushed out that back rim of the park, and I could see going through Critter Country to get more, but I don't know. It's really, really cool right now. Jeremy says it'd be easier to only add DCA thematically. I completely agree with you, Jeremy. I think your head's in the right spot there on how DCA would be more apt, more willing to bend into something like this. Oh, Daphne, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. I'm going to use that super chat to save up for my ticket to the new third gate. Laura Jean, how you doing? Hope you're having fun. Christina C says, just DCA, keeping Disneyland more intimate. Yeah, Disneyland kind of feels perfect right now. I mean, there's things that they could do with it. Tomorrowland could use a massage, but it seems pretty perfect right now. Kristen says, darn, I keep forgetting this moved to Mondays. Yeah, just during Touch of Disney. Andrew says they're going to have to do both. Otherwise, they'll have to make the ticket prices lopsided. I don't know, Andrew, because right now, I feel like if they went harder on DCA, and let's say that by the time this happens, that Avengers Campus is fully materialized, then finally you have a park ticket that is worthy of going into Disneyland. Because the big problem they're going to have when the park reopens is people are going to flock to Disneyland, and buying a ticket to DCA is going to be like, I mean, many people will want to go once to ride their old favorites, and many people will go if that's the only thing they can get. But I don't know, Andrew. I think DCA has a lot to go before it is toe-to-toe with Disneyland, to where if you had to buy a ticket to either park, you could be like, it's dead split. Like, this $104 is the same spent in either side of the Esplanade. That would be my opinion on that one. Let's see here. Melissa says, after Galaxy's Edge was added, it really felt like the park was complete. I agree. I feel like the footprint is so nice right now. Sonic Boom says, will DCA expansion only have extensions of DCA themes or more Marvel Pixar? Sonic Boom, you get into a big question. More Pixar would be a no-brainer because you could go from the Pixar Pier into more Pixar. But would they put Marvel on one end of the park and not on the other? I tend to think that a DCA expansion would give them more permission to absorb more around Avengers Campus and let Avengers Campus grow on the east while other properties are set to grow out on the west. That would be how I would handle that if I was in there. All of this is hypothetical. All of this is just fun for the mind. And to get distracted off of, when are these tickets going to go on sale? When am I going to get into Disneyland? Okay, let's see here. Oh, somebody's saying, any words on tickets going on sale? No, DB. And when the tickets do go on sale, you'll know because the internet will explode. Okay, James says, you're starting to convince me maybe just DCA. Ooh, I like that. I like that we're having a debate here. Christopher says it would be weird to have Disneyland Hotel in DCA. True, but it wouldn't actually be in DCA. I believe that it would be sort of firewalled off. It's going to get interesting to see how they could design that. And I have big opinions on how all that could go. Tony says, I like DCA a lot, but it still needs a killer e-ticket. I mean, it does have a killer e-ticket with Radiator Racers, and Tower's good. Soarin's great, but it could maybe use like 2 more e-tickets to really feel on top of it. Leonie says, I think DCA changes and Disneyland Tomorrowland changes. Yeah, see, I feel like extra footprint would give them more creative liberties with spaces that we already know as part of the parks. John M's got to get back to work. Hey, I'll see you after your shift, bud. All right, let's go to the next one. So, now follow along with me with this scenario. These lands that we would get added on, they don't seem massive, right? So there could be a way, and this isn't going to make locals happy, but that stretch back there, because essentially what Disneyland Forward is about giving Disneyland the freedom to build outside of restrictive codes. So what if that space, that space we're seeing, what if that became a big resort world where now a new incentive is that if you stay at the hotels, you not only get to stay on property, but you stay inside of a resort. Well, not all the hotels, because Grand Californian is very removed and it's very prestigious. I don't think they would ever do anything with that. But imagine if staying in the hotels, even the Grand Californian, you take a bridge over, what if staying in the hotels meant that you got access to the resort park that maybe had a very in-depth like water park component to it, a couple of dark rides, maybe an e-ticket of its own, like anything's on the table, right? These zones are all about giving Imagineering and Disney the freedom to think about whatever they want to do. If Disney pulls down the amount of annual passes and starts to not get as many local guests to stay or to come to the park as often as they did when the passes were going, then maybe a idea to get a guy like me to book a hotel room is that if I book a hotel room, I get access to the resort park. So that third gate could be a very exclusive. This is a wild scenario that I'm throwing at you, I understand. But think about it. It's not impossible. It could happen. Anything could happen with all of this. Now, I know what your opinions are going to be. Why on earth would a local guy want a resort park when they could just get more of the park they already go to? Rick the Boat Guy says, how much a ticket's going to be when it opens back up to get into the park? So far, everybody believes the ticket's going to be about the same as when the park closed. When the park closes, it'll be about the same. It would be a really bad look for them to gouge pricing. I think they just want to get back in there and get to going. So, Rick, I would imagine that the price is going to be the same. But, Rick, that's off topic. All right, let's see here. I see people saying interesting. People contemplating this outside of the box idea of a resort type park. Kristen says, I like the idea of the resort hotels possibly taking pressure off the entry lines for other guests at the parks, like the Grand Californian does at DCA. David Halakan, oh boy, here we go. Leave the classic rides alone. Don't retheme any at Disneyland and put all the new stuff at DCA. Frog and the Princess, for example. Give it its own restaurants too. Oh, Frog and the Prince is coming, bud. That's coming. Splash Mountain's done. I know a lot of people think, oh, it's not going to happen. Splash Mountain is done. And to it I say, bye-bye. Christopher says Disneyland side becoming resort and DCA side stays DCA. Interesting. That could definitely go that way. Cute Latin guy's going, nah. I mean, this is a guy that hates buying tickets to the park. You're not going to get him to buy a ticket to a hotel in the city that he lives in. Neil says, not seeing a resort park happening. Disney has never done that. Neil, we're going into interesting times, bud. We're going into interesting times. Everything is changing. What experience means is changing. The way that people spend money, the way that they're projecting things. So just because they haven't done it doesn't mean that they won't. Everything I feel like right now is on the table for play, because that's what Disneyland Forward is actually about. It's not actually about definitely putting in a third gate. It's not about putting in more lands. It's about having the ability to do whatever they want in whichever way they can imagine it. So it'll be interesting to see where that imagination goes. Mikey says, because they're making Splash Mountain Land, didn't you see the water features in the mock-up? Yeah, those mock-ups are just that, mock-ups. And if you're a graphic designer or anybody that's ever worked in the creative industry, you know that you just have to show people something so they can envision the future, but they're not really showing you anything that's really going to happen. I don't care what's in those mock-ups. It's all irrelevant, all irrelevant. Amanda says, I might be down for the elitist park. Nah, you caught me. You caught me on being elitist. All right, let's move over to the Toy Story footprint. This is the parking lot that is now adjacent. It's a little bit further down Harbor on the other side of Catella. Let's talk about the Toy Story footprint. Would you guys want this to be a West Coast Disney Springs or a third gate? I'm pretty sure I know what 100% of you are going to vote, but I have to ask, West Coast Disney Springs or a third gate? Wild Princess Tokyo has an in-park hotel with the Myra Costa and adding a second in-park hotel with Fantasy Springs Edition. So a resort park could happen. Boom! Thank you, Wild Prince, for having my back. Thank you. Thank you so much. Neil says, so then make a new park for the wealthy on it. Why not? The Disneyland Hotel is not made for everyone. And in fact, when you own a business, it is your responsibility to try to hit every different demo possible. That's why the Paradise Pier Hotel is at the bottom end of value. The Disneyland Hotel is in the mid-tier, and the Grand Californian, it's priced for only an exclusive amount of people. And I'm never, ever going to say that making things for people that are in a better financial situation is a bad thing, because that's how you run your business. It's how I run my own business. I don't believe that everything should be accessible to all. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but I understand more money per customer, how that goes back into the overall growth of everything, so that things like Disneyland Forward can happen because they have the financial means to. Husky Wolf Pop, I would love a West Coast Disney Springs. Whoa, you went for it. I'm amazed. Let's see here. Let's see what the votes are. They're coming in here. The Painted Head says, not sure you talked about it yet, but what do you think about the park land views from these hotels? Not talking about any of that. I'm doing a news video later. This is just what you guys think today. You'd have to watch the first 5 minutes for that to make sense. Let's see here. Emily says West Coast Disney Springs. Wow. Let's see. Gary says Third Gate. Elizabeth, Third Gate. Melissa, Disney Springs. That's 2 and 2. Jeff says Disney Springs. David says Third Gate. Christopher, Disney Springs. Wow, a lot more of you are going for the Disney Springs than I thought. And I'm curious, are you saying that because it feels weird to have a third gate so removed from the other two gates? That's the part emotionally that I have a hard time contemplating. Andrew says neither. They will make it their own Star Wars hotel resort. Nah, Andrew, they're not going to put it there. They're not going to put it there. Let's see here. Theme Park Sandbox says buy Garden Walk and West Coast Springs and bridge to the Carousel Hotel lot. I mean, that's not the question. You're just over there playing Monopoly on your own, bud. What are you doing? What are you doing? You playing SimCity today? Silicon Life Valley 2.0 says Bob Chapstick posted another YouTube channel days ago. He cannot confirm or deny a third park. Yeah, well, none of this is confirmed. All of this is just for fun. None of this is going to happen because step one, hold on. Uncle Larry wants out of the office. Go on, bud. Uncle Larry's gone. None of this is confirmed. Step one of Disneyland Forward is to get the community involved. So all of this is just what if. But really, what Disneyland Forward truly is a marketing campaign to get Disneyland the freedom to design outside of current restrictions on all this land. That's all it is. So everything we're doing is simply for fun. Ethan says Westcott, never going to happen, bud. Christy says West Coast Disney Springs. Leanie says Third Gate for sure. Scary Gary says I really thought Third Gate because the parking lot space is large enough for a third gate. It is a nice footprint. Let's see. JT says I think it'll be more of a Disney Springs to open more of current downtown Disney to park expansions. JT, what do you want? Not what you think. What do you want? Wild Princess West Coast Disney Springs and repurpose some of downtown Disney. Interesting. You guys are ready to just throw downtown Disney into the parks. Very interesting. Lauren says West Coast Disney Springs would give people who don't have park tickets more options. Lauren, you're not wrong about that. And it could give the ability to put a little bit of, we'll say, Disney style attractions there. Like think more of Star Wars Trading Post. Like if they did something, because Southern California already has amazing shopping, they would really have to set the bar and put something in there that feels experiential, especially since the way that trends in retail have gone. All right. Crystal Ray today says, give me the rides. James says 100% Third Gate. Richard says Third Gate. SoCal Magical Express says Fourth Gate. Wow. Just tell me where the third one's at, bud. because I missed where the third one went. Let's see here. Mikey Steen says third gate. I feel Disney Springs attracts outside vendors over Disneyland IP, and that's what I'd rather have during a vacation or during a Disney experience. Interesting. Christopher says it's too small. Done by Saturday says somewhere I can get a churro and a Dole Whip without going into the park. Cute Latin guy says there's not enough room for a proper third gate is my reason. I get that. I get that. It would have to be, it would be a smaller park, but nowadays with technologies and with video boards and augmented reality, you don't need as much space as you used to. I'll give you that for food for thought. And also, maybe we're getting into the moment where we start doing vertically stacked attractions where, you know, a basic dark ride exists on a first floor, and then a more stylized, more themed ride exists on second and third and fourth floors. Like, there's a way. There's always a way, guys. When you open your mind to creativity, there's always a way. So many good answers on here. Silicon Valley says third gate is coming post-COVID. Disney has to make more money with less people. Third gate does that. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I see where you're going for. JT says, gotta get this open before 2028 Olympics here in Southern California. Yeah, we have a very ambitious 10 years here in Southern California. Daphne says no springs. Zuki says third gate. Toy Story and Garden Walk would be more area than DCA. I don't think Disney is that into retail, but probably want to scare off Garden Walk tenants and motels. Cheap buyouts. Wow, you're just going right into them just smashing the whole region. Let's see here. What the Painted Head says, West Coast Disney Springs, easier to stay open during the pandemic. Oh, during the next pandemic. It's coming. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Now, which location, and I'm pretty sure I know where you're going to go on this, but follow me along on this. Because Disneyland Forward, and what I wanted to do today was get an exercise of understanding that there are no rules if Disneyland Forward gets passed. And the concept art that you saw is just a sketch of what it could look like, and it's nowhere in reality. So if they decided to remove the Disneyland Hotel and they decided to remove the Paradise Pier Hotel and make that area our third gate and put all the hotels over in the Toy Story parking lot, would that be what you would prefer? Or would you prefer for all the hoteling to expand where it's at now and then the Toy Story parking lot to be the third gate? Which location would you want to be what? Like, would you love to see the third gate be adjacent and get rid of the hotels? Or do you think that the third gate would be better over in the Toy Story area where it would have more room? Would love to know what you guys think. Let's see here. Done by Saturday says a duper high-end exclusive third gate would be really interesting. Q Latin guy says people aren't really digging those screen rides. So let's see here. Jeff Pike says, I like the vertical idea. Sounds like a lot like Old Tomorrowland. Silicon Valley, I like the idea of moving downtown Disney off campus. Good suggestion. I mean, I don't really think that would happen, but it's all on the board, man. Anything could happen now with all of this going on. James says, I'm just so excited that Disney is investing into the parks and making it clear they want to move on. Love it. That's exactly, James, where your excitement should be, in my estimation. Let's see. Sammy Land says, move the hotels. It would be very, very interesting. Like, let's just take this idea for a second. What if the Disneyland Hotel was taken down and Paradise Pier Hotel was taken down because Paradise Pier Hotel, Disneyland Hotel's already been demoed and put up before. Even though that would be a lot to move two hotels, and I understand the cost of that, having a proper third gate adjacent to the other two gates would make that third gate, beyond a doubt, so much more successful. And then if Disney had an area that was basically their resort area, that would be like such an amazing area where they could get locals, out of town people to hang out. And it would keep everything kind of more in its proper space. DB, thank you so much for the super chat. You did figure it out because you just gave me the super chat, and I am grateful for you trying to figure it out. Let's see here. Zuki says, I want all the land to be hotel plus theme park space. They need both capacity for the Olympics. Okay. Elizabeth says, move the hotels. Theme Park Sandbox says, would rather have a third gate next door to the other parks. Disneyland Hotel and Paradise Pier Hotel are old anyway. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, Jesse says that's a hard one. Where to put things? JT says, I'd rather see Toy Story be third gate with an expanded monorail track to get guests there. JT, I would love the monorail to be there, but it would be so insanely expensive to run a monorail over to that park. Like an astronomical whatever number to get that over there. It'd be crazy. Let's see here. Wild Prince says, oh, wow, move the resort hotels and make them bigger resorts, reroute the monorail. Yeah, man. I'm thinking outside the box. DB is going crazy trying to do $20, but he's doing it in 4 shots. DB, you did it. You did it, bud. I appreciate it. I would love to have, DB says, I'd love to have the hotels move to the Toy Story lot and make the entire lot of land adjacent to the 2 theme parks be a third gate. Yeah, it would be sick if that's what happened. Let's see here. Mikey Stain says it would be nice to have the walk through the hotels area to travel between gates. So if I'm playing with Monopoly money and Tycoon rules, move the hotels and open a third gate where the Disneyland Hotel and Pixar Pier Hotel is. Yeah, I mean, it would be crazy to tear down those hotels, but hotels over a third gate where it belongs, and then to be able to rebuild bigger and more modern hotels where they could hit different price points and give guests a more future forward experience. I feel like that would be a hard thing for them to pass out on. Ryan says Anaheim should be moving into orange tier by tomorrow. Off topic, but 25% for Disneyland. I'll take that off topic. Thanks, bud. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to move on to the next question. Would you rather attractions? Okay, this is would you rather attractions, and we're going to do this with existing attractions, existing Disney attractions that don't exist in California. I want you to give me this. Give me your best attraction that could come out here and your worst. Get best first, worst second. My example would be this. I would love for Cosmic Rewind to come out here, but I would not want for Tron to come out here. Tron is way too big. It doesn't work well with other buildings, and the attraction is way too fast. I don't see it being a good value for our land. It's a perfect thing for Shanghai or Florida, but Cosmic Rewind would be phenomenal. I'm betting big that that's going to be a super popular attraction. So give me your best and your worst. What is the best existing Disney attraction and the worst existing Disney attraction that they could build out here that we don't have in Florida? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here. Done by Saturday says, or build a third gate around the hotels so you can actually stay in the park, an immersive theme park metropolis. Done by Saturday, I think there's just not enough space to do that, man. I think that's going to be hard. Scary Gary says, with Tycoon money, Toy Story hotels, demolish hotels, third gate. People are liking that idea of moving it over there. I know it's very, very expensive, very ambitious, but I think they could actually make the numbers work. All right, let's see here. Okay, so Scary Gary is our first one up. He says, give me Beauty and the Beast, and then worst would be Tron. Ooh, I love that. Beauty and the Beast. Could Beauty and the Beast work as an offshoot of DCA, or would that have to become part of Disneyland? We've already got Ariel's underwater adventure, so I could see Beauty and the Beast being a part of DCA. I could see that working. Let's see here. Extend the tram ride. Bless you. Bless you, Painted Head, for saying that. Bless you. Let's see. Ethan goes with Gary. Cute Latin guy says Tron for the win. That's not the question. It's best or worst cute Latin guy. Stop being a himbo and pay attention. Andrew says, Beauty and the Beast is getting on here. Beauty and the Beast again. Beauty and the Beast, wow. People Mover. Mission Space worse. Let me see here. David Conway says, hi, I'm new here first. Okay. Interesting pick. Kristen says Beauty and the Beast. Man, you guys really want Beauty and the Beast to come out here. Lauren says, best, Tokyo's Winnie the Pooh. Worst, Figment. Those are two deep dives. I love that. Mikey says, best, Shanghai Pirates. I get that doesn't make sense, but it's cool to see where the parks have come. Worst, I agree with you, Tron. Dude, I thought about Shanghai Pirates, but we'll never, ever get it. We'll never get it because we have the original Pirates. David says, worst, Superstar Limo. You're breaking the rules, David, and you know that. Sassy David. Hey, Tegan. How you doing? Good to see you. My niece is here today. Nice to see you. I miss you. I can't wait till you come out here and we get to go to Disneyland again. Let's see here. Jesse Adventure says, best, Frozen Land, bad, Toy Story Land. Jesse, thank you, sweet prince, for saying that. Because my biggest fear would be that if DCA goes over into the hotel footprint, that we would somehow get that horrendous Toy Story Land that they have at Walt Disney World and Hollywood Studios. It looks like garbage. It is the worst theme thing I've seen them build. I'm sure the Slinky Ride is fun, but the theming is just horrendous. Horrendous. Okay, let's see here. Cute Latin guys, day drinking must be nice just to be attractive and spend your days drinking all day. Let's see here. Michelle says, best, Crush's coaster for the DCA tie-in. Worst, Tron. Man, a lot of people feeling it on Tron. Justin says, an original attraction. Yeah. What would it be, Justin? What do they need to build that they haven't built yet? Silicon Valley says, best, Mount Everest. Worst, Influencer Land. You guys love to pick on the influencers, but without the people there with the cameras, what would you watch? Let's see here. Wild Princess, best, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Oh, that thing looks gnarly, and I love the outer look of it. Husky Pop, thank you for another super chat. I appreciate it. 1, Beauty and the Beast. 2, Tron. I have to say right now, Beauty and the Beast seems like the most popular opinion, and Tron seems to be the least popular opinion. Gary says, to be honest, Brickey, I would rather have brand new attractions. Sorry to break the rules. Well, I get that, but this kind of only works if I have examples for you to pick from. Let's see here. Worst, Figment. Best, Rocking Roller Coaster. I hate Aerosmith. I would never ride that. I hate Aerosmith with a passion. Skipping that. Silicon Valley, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Justin says, Fox Properties, get out of here with your trash. Take that down to the knots. Take that attitude down to knots, Justin. Let me see. Mikey Stain says, I can't believe they botched the execution of Toy Story Lands, but I'd love to see them go full on Toy Story Land, as there is so much they could do with that IP. It's such a great IP. The fact that they went cheap with the Tinker Toys is just infuriating. All right, let's see here. Phil Cruz says a Wall-E attraction would be sick. All right, let's move on to the next one here. My next one for you is this. Existing lands. If we're going to put existing lands into a third gate or extending one of these two parks, I know we would all like a new land, and in 10 years' time, who knows what new land would need to exist. But out of lands that already exist in other parks, what would you like to see them build? And the only reason why I say things that already exist is because it makes it easier. But if you're a daydream imagineer and there's a land that you say that needs to be built, throw it in the chat. I'd love to see it. Let's see here. Cute Latin guy. Jurassic Park ride. I'll see myself out. Believe in Serena says they already had an influencer attraction, Superstar Limo, and it was a flop. Look at that shade. Look at that shade. I love that kind of shade. Love that so much. Let's see here. Random World says, if we get Toy Story Land, I hope we get RC Racers Ride. That could be very cool. Theme Park Sandbox says, best Avatar, worst Dino Land. Theme Park Sandbox, Avatar Land. Which park would you extend that off of? Could you see Critter Country going over into a Avatar Land, or do you think that that would be best for DCA? Would love to get your opinion. Christopher says all of Disney Sea. You jerk. Tegan, my niece, is saying, in Disney California Adventure, I love the ride where you can feel like you can fly and smell all the natural scents. Soarin' over California, Tegan. We love riding that ride together. Let's see here. Christian said, I enjoyed the movie Zootopia, but I'm not on board for that to be so featured in a park. Yeah, I think with that going into Shanghai, that's like a cultural thing that we don't quite understand. Random World says, Finding Nemo roller coaster like in Disneyland Paris. Interesting. Anna says, Pandora. Daphne says, Wakanda. It'd be interesting. Do you think that they would put Wakanda so far away from Avengers Campus? Because the theme of the e-ticket attraction that we will eventually get, it might be a little bit delayed, but there will be an e-ticket attraction that goes into Avengers Campus. That was supposed to be a trip to Wakanda. So it'd be interesting to see, would they go Marvel all the way on the other side of the park? I tend to think no. Jesse says Coco Land. I think Coco Land could be a shoo-in for any other reason, just because of California's Mexican heritage. I think that that would be a no-brainer. Jesse, my question for you, Coco Land, extension of DCA or extension of Disneyland? Would love to see what you think. Mikey Stain says best, Discovery Land. Worst, Toy Story Land. Please no Toy Story Land. Or not the one that they got in Florida. Please not that. Kimberly says best, Alice in Wonderland. Worst, Frozen. Ooh, wow. David says Halloween Town Land. Oh, like Halloween Town from Nightmare Before Christmas. David, that's a great idea. And you're being positive. David, do you think, would Nightmare Before Christmas fit as an extension of Disneyland or DCA? Would love to get your opinion on that, bud. Let's see here. Terry, DCA Creek Trail turned into indoor. Terry, I don't see them putting Star Wars. Even if we got a third gate, I think everything Star Wars stays inside of Disneyland. Tegan loves Star Wars Land, although I would have to say that the Millennium Falcon and Tegan being 3 hours away from her normal life with jet lag, I think the Millennium Falcon and jet lag, I think it did you in, bud. Phil says Nightmare Before Christmas Land. Let's see here. Ethan says, I would love some Big Hero 6 coming to Tomorrowland. Phil says Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas could be super, super popular. Theme Park Sandbox says it would be easier transition from Critter Country to Pandora, but placing it behind Pixar Pier would be a rough transition. Yeah, I see what you're saying here. Let's go. Josh says, sell all that Coco at Coco Land. Oh man, I would go to Coco Land and become a boy in a minute. This little skeleton would turn into a boy in a minute. Nikki says a Villain's Land. That would be awesome, with like a dark castle and like a show, couple of restaurants, one walk up, one sit down, and a dark ride. That'd be great. Nikki says best, Lady and the Tramp. Worst, Coco. Wow, shade on Coco. These are really, really good. I'm enjoying all these. Let's go to our next question here. If Disneyland was to get that space behind it, would you rather a new land go through Critter Country into a whole new land, a whole new set of shops, stores, dining, and 2 or 3 attractions, or would you like for that land to be absorbed for a Star Wars hotel? Because friends, if we're going to get a Star Wars hotel anywhere in California, it's going to be on the backside of Batu, so that when you check in and you have to go out for a mission, they can put you in a vehicle, just take you right across Disneyland Way, bring you in to Batuu, which will have to shut down early, like a couple nights a week. So these people can come in there and have a private tour of Batuu and then finish their mission, get back into their space vehicle, and then go back to their spaceship for the rest of their stay. So it would be amazing. It would be awesome. It's a lot of Skrilla. It's a lot of Skrilla to fight a Star War. So, question, New Land or Star Wars Hotel? Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me all you got. Racer Tom, Brickey, glad you're okay. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. Jesse says Coco would be better in DCA. Even a dark ride would be nice. Yeah, I feel like, especially with the way the DCA handles the holidays with the the Navidad experience in the back there, I feel like DCA is set for something Coco related. That would be amazing. Okay, let's go in here. David says New Land. He says New Land, I want more rides. Husky Wolf Pope says New Land, we have enough Star Wars. Ooh, capital letters. Guy hates the Star War. Shannon says New Land. Megan says no. Just like that. Kimberly says New Land. New Land. Okay, got my first for the Star Wars Hotel. Elite Star Wars Hotel. I feel like that's a half vote. There's a little bit of sarcasm in there. Christopher says, as much as I want the Star Wars Hotel, I'd have to vote for New Land. Random World says, we already had Galaxy's Edge. We need a new land. Well, you can't spend the night in the Galaxy's Edge. Just to be devil's advocate there, Random World. Let's see. Theme Park says New Land. Meglife says New Land only. Scary says New Land. I have a crazy theory for Star Wars Hotel, but it'll take that off the air. Okay. Anna B, New Land. David Hollicon says the Halloween season is $1 billion year industry. A new Nightmare Before Christmas land would work. Oogie Boogie Halloween year round. But my question, David, was what park does that attach to? Tegan says Star Wars. I couldn't imagine how amazingly designed the rooms and how they'd come off as the beds are. It's easy for Tegan to say Star Wars Hotel because she knows Uncle Mark will be paying for her stay. Michelle says New Land. Josh says, right now, New Land. My mind might change after Florida's opens. JT says Star Wars Hotel. Take some money and go see a Star War. Q Latin guy says Star Wars Hotel. You'll probably just be some sort of, entertainment for travelers. You know what I'm saying, Q Latin guy? You know what I'm saying. Random World says New Land. We already have a lot of Star Wars. I'd rather have a Marvel hotel. Ooh, hot take. Racer Tom's going with the Star Wars hotel. Mikey says, I think that completely depends on the success of the Starship in Florida. I'd rather have a New Land unless the New Land sucks than I want the hotel. All right. So like Toy Story Land or Star Wars Hotel. What do you want now, Dave or Mikey? Let's see here. Hotel, but only if CMs can be trained to keep the experience going and it doesn't die down like Galaxy's Edge. Lauren, you are so right, my friend. Star Wars Hotel depends so much on them sticking to the theming and not just being like Galaxy's Edge. It's too hard. It's too hard. We can't keep doing it. We can't keep doing it, guys. It's too hard. Phil Cruz says New Land. Wild Prince says New Land. Let Florida keep Star Wars cruise ship hotel concept. Andrew giving me a shout out for taking the kid to a hotel that doesn't exist. I'll take it. I'll take the shout out. I need it. Painted Head says Star Wars Hotel. I find the smaller footprint is what makes Disneyland so special. David Hallicon wants the Halloween attached to Disneyland. I like that idea. Artica here says, I'd rather have a new land that replaces Critter Country and extends from there. Ooh, Critter Country. Smell ya. Later, critters. All right. Mikey Stain says, hotel greater than existing Toy Story Land unless they make a decent Toy Story Land. Then you... Christopher says, just let me stay overnight in Batuu. Well, you could do that if we got a hotel in there. Random World wants a Marvel hotel. I don't know. I feel like a Star Wars hotel is way more immersive and interesting than a Marvel hotel. We'll see. All right, I got another one for you here. What do you guys want? If Disney expands, dark rides or thrill rides? Where are you at? Do you need storytelling? Do you need to go into one of the worlds that you fell in love with in the cinematic universes? Or do you need the thrills? Do you need to go fast? Do you need to go upside down? What do you want? If Disneyland Forward moves forward and they extend the parks or build a third gate, dark rides or thrill rides, where are you at? Tegan, you want a Little Mermaid land? That would be awesome. I would love Under the Sea land. Random World says thrill twice, because Random World needs it twice as much as everybody else. Amanda says dark rides all day. He says dark thrill rides. You guys are the worst. Amanda K says dark. Aaron, dark rides. Miguel, dark rides. David, I don't know. David says dark rides. Kaylee says dark rides. Lots of other parks do great thrill rides, but Disney owns dark rides. Kaylee just took it right off the top of my head there. Tony says, got to go with the dark side. Mikey, dark rides all day. Coriana guy YouTube says thrill rides. Cute Latin guy says dark rides. Well, of course, you want to go in there and make out with people. Husky Wolf Pop says dark rides all the way, please. That's why Disney is all about storytelling. Agree. My niece Tegan says dark rides. Glowing lights are gorgeous in dark rides. Man, you guys are killing it with the dark rides. Oh, Lauren says both. LOL, like Rise of the Resistance. David, kick Lauren out. Or Jeff, kick Lauren out. NB, dark rides. Ethan, love to have more Test Track and Radiator Springs racers, where it's sort of that like combination. Thrill dark ride. Thrill rides at DCA. Dark rides at Disneyland. Ooh, David, that's the best comment. You were specific about what goes where. You didn't pay attention to the rules, David. So I take a point off for that. But your answer was so good, I give you that point back. Congratulations, you're at 0. Let's see here. Darl rides all the way. Dark rides greater than thrill rides. Oh, you guys love the dark rides. David Conway, what is your problem? What's the plan, DCA? What's the plan, DCA? What's the plan, DCA? Hey, what's the plan, DCA? You write it. Every time you write it, I'll say it in a different way. What's the plan, DCA? All right, let's see here. Dark rides. Thanks for the great live stream. Jake, thank you so much, bud. Tegan Russo says Six Flags compared to Disney. Whoa, that's bad. Everything at Six Flags needs a coat of paint. Cute Latin guy. We used to call the People Mover the People Maker because of all the makeout areas. Well, must be nice to be attractive. I'll never know. All right. Silicon Valley says dark thrill rides for old wallets. All right. Next question. When you see a land come together, part of what rounds out the land is all the little buildings around the attractions. The shops and the dining experiences kind of really add the gravity and make the settings that the attractions sit in feel more real. So my question for you is, what would you like to see in new lands? We're going to skip the idea of the sort of West Coast version of Disney Springs. Do you like for land to have more dining or more shopping? Would love to know. Let's see here. Lauren says, if the rides are going to DCA needs more no height requirement rides. Interesting. I never thought about that. Being blessed with height, I never thought about that. Random World, good example of dark thrill ride would be Nemo roller coaster, like the one in Disneyland Paris, or I would say, the one that you just said. Perfect. All right. Richard says dark rides, but no more simulators. You guys hate the screens. You hate the screens. Amanda K says definitely shopping. He says more immersive restaurants, Disneylands to up their dining game. What are you talking about? Yeah, you're actually right. Disneyland proper does need like one or two more high-end restaurants. You're right. I was getting ready to clown on you, but I stopped myself because you're right. Random World says neither. Really? Really? You're going to be that immature? You're going to be that immature, Random World? You're going to say neither? Come on. Come on. I would love to see you at a theme park for 12 hours, ripping all your rides, and no drinks, no snacks, no place to buy sunscreen, no place to buy a blouse when it gets too cold because you rode a water ride and you got wet. Random World, rethink that answer. Rethink that answer to make peace with me. Rethink that answer. Don't get on my bad side. James says, well-themed dining like Blue Bayou. Well played. Let's see. Kristen says, theme dining easier to theme. Lauren says, scary. Gary says, shopping. I mean, shopping, going back to my bud Lauren, shopping can be themed. Look at what we did with Galaxy's Edge with Savvy's Workshop or the droid store, whatever that's called. Droid repair place. Patu, what's it called? Bob's Discount Droid Repair Shop, Batu East, I think West. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember the name of that place. Okay, let's see. Christina says, dining themed to land. It's got to be themed to the land. Mikey says, dining. I feel like when there's lots of stores, they all have the same items. Good point. Very good point, Mikey. So I'd rather more dining options than shopping options. Kristen says, going to have to loosen our belts. Lots of eating here. David says restaurants. Megley says, LOL, they need better food. Leonie says, aw man, I lost track of time. I'll be starting after the ends. Hello, Brickey and friends. Good to see you, Lay. How you doing? Tegan says, I'm 4'11" now, Uncle Mark. I can definitely grow before I come to see you. You're tall enough to ride everything now, Tegan. We're past those days of me making you step on my feet so I can get you onto attractions illegally. We're past those days of you and I, like carnies, cheating the system. So it looks like dining. You guys want themed dining. You want more experiences. Interesting. All right, I think I have one more left. All right. A new e-ticket attraction. If there was space, an Imagineering asked you, it's like, hey, you, YouTube user, Brickey's friend, 1313 member, thank you. We have this extra space. What do you want? An e-ticket attraction that you can ride all the time? Or do you want a nighttime show? Would love to know where your heart's at. E-ticket attraction or a nighttime show? David Conway says, I just ask that for if you are still reading my comments here. But your comment didn't make any sense, David Conway. So you put it in like a dozen times and I had no idea what you're saying. Random World says e-ticket. Scary says 100% e-attraction. We are good with nighttime shows. Oh, maybe you're good with nighttime shows, Gary. Oh my God, e-ticket. If it's the third gate, nighttime show. Josh, putting a little bit of thought in there. Ethan says nighttime dinner show. You jerk. Anna says e-ticket for sure. A show like Fantasmic. Corona guy tube says. Amanda K, e-ticket faux show. E-ticket. E-ticket attraction all the way. E-ticket unless it's Tron. Nighttime show as long as they don't touch Fantasmic. Andrew says, that's a hard one. I think e-ticket is the way. What if it was Brickey and his magical map? Come on. Move Fantastic was seating. Ooh, Richard, hot take. He says, I think an e-ticket attraction, but if they could incorporate entertainment elements onto the exterior, that would be cool. E-ticket that only runs at night. Oh, Mikey Staines. Oh, man. David Conway, I just want your reply from Me Too. Well, I think the Me Too movement was great. I think everybody should be treated equal. And I think that if people act inappropriate, they should be called out. So thank you for the question. Okay, see here. What about an e-ticket nighttime show? You guys, it doesn't matter what I ask you. You're going to find a way to Frankenstein it and make something new. Okay. Rebuild an existing land, best and worst. This is the last one, I believe. Rebuild an existing land, best and worst. So when they showed some of the concept art, some of the things that they showed was like, Peter Pan. Like, these are things that we're building elsewhere that we could build here. And that got me thinking. When you have something like Avengers Campus, hear me out on this one. You have something like Avengers Campus. Why build more Marvel in the new footprint when you could just, with confidence, grow Marvel over into Hollywood Studios and then have that space to build something new? So, for example, Tomorrowland, let's say that Tomorrowland greatly got absorbed by Fantasyland, so they could keep Fantasyland all in one spot. So as things are getting moved around, say Beauty and the Beast, that attraction gets added to Fantasyland, but they know to kind of keep that Tomorrowland vibe that they would need to put some sort of Tomorrowland type experience beyond the berm, maybe in a new land out there. So I would love to know what would be the best land that you think that they could attempt to rebuild elsewhere, and what would be the worst land that they could attempt. Like for me, Fantasyland, we got one. Don't build another one. We got one. It's flawless. It should stay where it's at. For you, building more Star Wars might be something you're like, we have enough. We don't need any more. But what land do you think could maybe get a benefit from being placed in a new space and a new second chance at life? Husky Wolf Pop says, best, Adventureland, worst, Toontown. Silicone says, let's go for all the marbles, an F ticket. How dare you? How dare you? Hey, Michael Gray, how are you, bud? Let's see here. Random World says Pixar Pier is the worst. So you would say best would be to build a Pixar land that beats your expectations. Sarah says best would be to build a Neverland. So just build a whole Neverland. And if you build a Neverland, are you going to get rid of Peter Pan's flight inside of Fantasyland? Or are you going to just let it kind of be in two spots at once? Daphne says, I'm married to the idea of Wakanda, like a physical built out Wakanda. Just flying there and the e-ticket attraction is not going to be enough for you, Daphne. You want to walk through Wakanda. You want to see the Dora Milaje. You want to see, the sculpted panther type rock. You want to see all of that materialized IRL. Interesting. Lauren says best would be Tomorrowland, worst would be Fantasyland. That is my pick, Lauren. You're reading my mind today. David Conway. Oh, breaking news from David Conway. I just wanted to know, redo the DCA side. I just wanted to know, then do the DCA side. The DCA side. Redo the DCA side. Yes. Redo the DCA side. Scary Gary says best, newer Pixar land, worst, New Orleans Square. Oh, New Orleans Square. So sweet where it's at. Never touch it. Never touch it. Cute Latin guy says rebuild Tomorrowland with retrofuturistic theming back to the 1967 model. Cute Latin guy. You're not just cute, but you're smart. He says best Tomorrowland, worst Fantasyland. That seems to be the way to go. JT says great. Also maybe a World's Fair flavor. I think you guys are talking about Tomorrowland. Best Critter Country, worst Cars Land. Nice. Mikey Stain says best Tomorrowland. Put anything else in the space and start new elsewhere. Worst Frontierland. Nobody needs more of it. It's totally fine the way it is. All right. Last ones here. James says rebuild Tomorrowland. Best. Rebuild Main Street. Worst. Technically, James, yes. Main Street USA is considered a land, and I say the most perfect land they've ever built. It's needed the least amount of alterations over the years. All right. I believe that concludes today's game of Would You Rather. I hope you had fun just sort of using your imagination on thinking about how this land could get sculpted. As I said at the beginning of the show, if you joined us late, I will be doing a standalone video and a video series on Disneyland Forward, because as someone who studies the design of Disneyland, this is about the biggest news that could have landed on my lap. So instead of just rushing to it and trying to do a video as quickly as possible, I've taken my time. I'm going to properly break it down and create a lot of new content around where some of these ideas could go. Just as you saw today, if the idea of Disneyland Forward is to remove the rules so that each piece of land can be designed in any way that the Imagineers imagine it, then I'm going to see them on that conquest and try to go along on the journey. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you had a fun time. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, because I go live every time I'm out at the Disneyland Resort. I still have 3 more Thursdays where I will be doing Touch of Disney live streams. So if you were unable to get a ticket, or if you live far away, or for whatever reason you just can't make it out to the resort, Thursday nights at 6 o'clock, you can hang out with me and I'll take you on a full lap around DCA and let you go and be a part of Touch of Disney and introduce you to all the citizens of Disneyland I meet along the way. And a special thanks to all of my friends over in club1313.com for helping me out with the channel, for making all this possible, and most importantly, for your friendship over this past weekend. I really appreciate how all of you kept tabs on me, and it meant a lot. I also want to thank my Barney Fife, Jeff, my cowboy, my admin guy, who today only had to kick 12 people out. So that's pretty good, Jeff. I'm hoping you're going to go for your new record of 13, but you know, you don't work that hard. So everybody, thank you so much. If you could, please right now, give the video a thumbs up. 107 people watching, 74 thumbs up. What? Some of you don't have any arms? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you watch and not thumbs up? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for being a member of Club 1313. If you'd like to help out with the channel and see it grow, please consider joining today at club1313.com. All right, everybody, I'm going to end this live stream now, but I will see you again live Thursday when I'm back at Touch of Disney, and I'll see you back here Tuesday and Wednesday with more videos. So friends, until the next time I see you in a third gate or an extended DCA, or the next time I say, what do they rebuild other side of DCA? I'll see you back here on the channel with more Disneyland news. Thank you so much for watching.